Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to A Drink with Crazy. What's going on, everybody? Oh, good Lord. Dave Brink, good sir. It has been far too long. What's going on, H-Ball? It's good to see you. Oh, man. Dude, I have to say just a big thank you, first of all, for it's midnight where you live.
Yeah, it's 1 a.m.
Oh, goodness gracious. I had no idea. I had no idea you lived across the pond. I had no idea.
Oh, you
I'm
didn't?
so sorry. No,
Okay. All
I've
right.
been out of the loop for a long time.
Yeah, I heard that before. I guess I have my name like English sounding name plus English comics, so people don't really they notice once they get me alive, with the
Yeah.
weird accent.
I wouldn't say it's a weird. I've known
All
people
right.
I've known people with your same accent.
Oh, really?
We've actually talked to a few people who have a very similar accent. Where are you at?
The Netherlands.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we have some people who were in the Discord for a while who were from the Netherlands, so that's really cool.
Right.
Yeah, Devil's Air, he was a big fan of the show. He used to hang out. It was great. I love talking with him, but
So cool to be here, man. It's really awesome.
Dude, I'm glad to have you here. So I kind of like to go into this stuff blind, but the thing is like I've seen you post on like Comic Shop Wednesday so many times, and I've seen so many trailers for Perfect 10 and all that. But the one thing that I like, and I don't know why, I think it was just a time difference. It was just the time difference, and we were trying to figure out a good time to work because we were doing Friday nights at like 8. And that was just a struggle for all of us, to be honest with you. We probably should have recognized the red flags there sooner. But I don't know why, because every time your book showed up, people in the chat were just like, man, dude, this looks so good. Everybody was like, yeah, we're going to go after that. So I want to go back to the beginning. Obviously, you're creating, you've been doing this for what, 5 or 6 years at this point.
About 10 now, I think.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm way wrong. Okay, so you've been doing it for 10 years, but your interest in it all goes back way further than that. So where does this whole thing start for you?
Well, my fascination with comics was when I was very young, when I could barely read even. I think it started basically because when I was a kid, I had this tremendous stutter. So I had I learned not to interact too much, not to socialize, So I kind of retreated in like reading.
Okay.
And I read comics with the pretty pictures, and we had a lot of like European and Dutch comics. And one day I got this big a treasury format comic from Superman and Spider-Man. It was this crossover thing.
Oh,
these characters were completely new. It was written by Marv Wolfman and Jim Shooter and drawn by John Buscema. I didn't know these people, right? But this was my first exposure to superheroes. And I was like, this is fantastic. And it was Dutch, so I could read it. So I began to seek out more of that material, and I discovered that these were actually two companies. So Marvel, DC, these characters didn't belong in the same world. This was very special, Anyway, long story short, I kind of knew that I wanted to do that. So I wanted to make comics.
What's so interesting about that too is that the superhero dynamic is not necessarily unique to the US, but the fact that was like the only thing, because we used to have like Crime Detective and like romance comics and stuff like that, like way back in the day, but really the superhero stuff took over. And in the rest of the world that they didn't really do that. The rest of the world had like over in Japan, they've got mangas about going out and fishing, right?
Yeah,
They have
that's right.
like this, but the fact that America is just so focused on the superhero stuff, and to hear that like you were reading comics in the Netherlands when you were a kid, and your first exposure to a superhero like comic was an American comic, that's just
Mhm.
really
Yeah,
interesting.
we didn't have that genre here really. With
What genres?
nothing,
What
we had
genres
like,
did you have?
well, everything else. So
That's funny,
science fiction, fantasy. I love fantasy.
right?
A lot of comedy. So in the Netherlands, they make a lot of these goofy comedy comics. I read those. But yeah, superheroes. That was really plus westerns. The first western comic that I read, the
Mhm.
Rawhide Kid, that was also from the United States, which makes sense, right? It's the
Right.
West, so
Yeah.
yeah.
That's so interesting. Um, I love. I'm gonna actually drop the link to your Fund My Comic over here
Oh,
in the
cool.
chat real quick.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's I love hearing how different cultures come to kind of doing all this. And it all does stem in somewhat of a similar place. And usually it's like, don't want to deal with the world. I'm going to deal with this. And that usually leads a lot of people into wanting to create comics and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, I can't imagine anyone who loves comics not coming to a point that they're like, I like to do this myself.
right.
It's to me that makes sense, but I don't know. It's luckily
No,
there are more people who simply want to like consume comics and read them, and
mhm.
you know
Yeah. And
because
well,
talent is very scarce.
yeah, well, and it is. Talent is very, very sparse. That's one of the things too. It's like even on YouTube, it's like everybody can do a YouTube channel, but not everybody can make a big YouTube channel. You know what I mean? And we were kind of talking about that before the show a little bit. But it's interesting in I'm getting an echo from somewhere. Chat, are you getting an echo? Or is that just me? Might just be me.
It's not for me.
I don't think it's you. Anyway,
I hope.
sorry. No, either that or something's going wrong
Is it me? Oh,
with my no. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. I don't. It's not an echo. Anyway, sorry. Sorry. It's there is a noise coming from somewhere, and I need to figure out where it's coming from. Anyway, moving on. No echo. You're so caffeinated. Well, just you. Cool. Okay, echo is in his mind. It probably is. Yeah, it's probably just my tinnitus. So I still want to make
oh
that.
no, you have tinnitus?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've had most.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude!
Yeah.
My girlfriend has it also,
Yeah.
like very minor, but it's
Yeah.
it's quite annoying
Oh
sometimes
yeah.
to her.
There are sometimes it gets really bad, but that's okay. That's okay. Hey, thanks for sharing it out. What's going on, everybody? It's good to see everybody in the chat. And by the way, if you guys have any questions for, I wonder where that's coming from. Anyway, if you guys have any questions for Dave, feel free to drop them down in the chat below. If the conversation's going really, really well, I am going to save those questions for Dave towards the end of the show. But the part of the fun is getting you guys involved in this. So if I see any good questions, we're going to save those for the show. Obviously, if you guys send in a super chat, the super chats, those are going to get read like as soon as we can find a good break in the conversation. I want to make sure that if you guys are putting up your hard-earned cash, I try to get to those quickly, but that's usually how I try to navigate this whole thing. Anyway, moving on. So, like you said, anybody who really has a love and a passion for this is probably going to try to take a shot at it at some point, right? You're going to
Yeah,
shoot your shot.
but to me it makes sense,
Yeah.
especially when you're a bit creative.
Mm-hmm.
You love comics, and that's the most logical route. Um,
So, what pushed you over the edge to do it? I mean, something because at one point you're just reading it, and then there's you kind of get to a point where like, well, I'm gonna do it.
yeah, well,
What what was it?
I suppose I just got a bit overzealous. I was still in school. I was still
Right.
a student, and we were in this creative school. And I just made this flyer that I was looking for other people who loved comics, who wanted to make comics with me, and I posted it on the message board,
Uh-huh.
um, and people actually responded, and that's how JMO Comics started as a group of students, and we made some comics, but we didn't know anything, right? We
Mhm.
thought we were the next Image, like the Dutch
Right.
Image,
Right. I
really
right.
stupid.
Uh, yeah,
um,
just really just delusions of grandeur. Yeah,
yes, it was
that's so
crazy.
funny.
I can
Uh,
draw, so yeah,
right.
yeah.
Caffeinated Wolf for $5 says, for Dave, not you, Royce. Yeah, I know. What's your favorite part about approaching your take on classic archetypes for your comic book world?
My
What's your
favorite part
yeah?
of approaching
Oh, here you
um,
go. I'll pull it
my
up some
take.
more.
Oh, there it is.
What's
Thank
your
you.
favorite part about approaching? Yeah, it's been a while. I got to get back into the streaming mindset here. What's your favorite part about
Classic.
approaching?
Yeah, I try to. So we are building this superhero universe. So because I love the superheroes, I wanted to make my own, and I want to like cover every. I want this to be a vast universe with all kinds of abilities, but oftentimes you have to like use archetypes. Like many things are just already invented, and that's cool, but you have to find something new. So a new spin on familiar things, right? For
Mm-hmm.
instance, we have the character American Bliss because I wanted this patriotic American character, and I wanted some sort of Wonder Woman esque character, and I just combined these two elements, and you get something new. And kind of depends on what you do with the concept. So the idea often isn't the main like drive or the main appeal to the character. It's usually what you do with it. So the story behind it, the adventures, the origin, these kind of things. So I'm trying to be original while also providing like familiar tropes, familiar things.
I mean, I think that's what everybody kind of has to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny is almost every interview I've ever had with any sort of creative is I like these tropes. I
Yeah.
think these tropes are great,
Mm-hmm.
but I I just have to tell these tropes in my voice. And a lot of people say, "Well, I'm trying to be original about it. I'm trying to have my own take on it." And it's like, "Well, I think that's just the natural thing that you do." It's just, I mean, these story beats, some of them have been around for, thousands of years. And now it's just you telling that story and those story beats in your voice.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I think that I've heard from some guys, and I think what they try to do is they try to be too original. Like they're trying to not tell the tropes. They're trying
Yeah.
not to lean into the archetypes.
Yeah, the thing
Um,
is that the tropes define the genre, right? So
yeah,
if you move too far away because you desperately try to be original, it becomes something else, and you no longer appeal to the audience
mhm,
that you're going for. Maybe even appeal to yourself, right?
yeah, yeah, and it's one of those things that like a lot of people just don't recognize it. They're like, it's what I think here in the West we'll call the artiste mindset. Well, I'm an artiste. It's like, no, you're not. You're an idiot, is what you are. Um, but it's so funny that it just kind of. I was thinking about that framing because I had Von Coleman on last week, who's doing Phenomenova,
Yeah,
and I'm not sure if you're aware of his campaigns and stuff,
yeah,
but he even said that he's like he has like the kings of comics in his mind, and he's like, these guys are the guys that built what they're doing. He's like, I'm just trying to do my own original thing with it.
hmm
And everybody keeps saying it's my own original thing, it's my own original thing, and that really struck me last week in particular, and I don't know why it struck me last week, but I think the reason that it's striking me is that I've heard it so much at this point. I'm like, well, yeah, that's the point. Like that's the point of you doing your own books.
hmm right.
So yeah, and
It's 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 what you like, the spandex, the colorful
Mhm,
costumes, the superpowers. So so many tropes, and you
mhm.
can't drift too far away. So you have to maneuver within the genre,
Mhm.
within things that people actually recognize and like. You know?
So I thought of an interesting thing. You said earlier you guys
Right.
thought you were going to be like the image of the Netherlands.
Yeah.
So you guys, I mean, is there any like competition in the Netherlands for like the comics that you guys are building? Like, are there other people in the Netherlands, other companies that are trying to do superhero comics like you guys are?
No.
No.
No, not the way that we make really American style books. I wanted to make the books that can fit within the comics that you guys make. You don't see the difference. It's like this is American material, right?
I,
But there are some.
that's why. That's why I didn't think you were from.
Yeah.
Because just looking at let me pull this up really quick. Like ladies and gentlemen down in the chat, if you tell me right now this doesn't okay, cuz I was like how did I not know that you weren't from the Netherlands? I feel like I should have known this. The art style, and even to a point like your verbiage and your phrasing when you see your lettering.
Well, yeah.
I mean this is American. And
Hmm.
I think that's why I was like, no, this guy's totally from over here, right? That makes
Yeah.
so much sense now.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the beginning, people thought that I was American,
I mean,
and then they heard me
I'll
speak.
adopt you. You want to come over here? I'll sponsor you to come to the US. I'm down.
Uh,
It's pretty
yeah.
expensive though. So,
But yeah, there are some other people in the Netherlands who make like superhero books, but they are like in Dutch, and they have this very European look. This you can recognize it as being a European, right? And in that department, we are pretty much unique right here
hmm,
in the Netherlands.
interesting. So what would be the I guess the difference between the American genre and like the Netherlands genre? Is it specifically just the superheroes and the superhero tropes, or is there something else to it? Well,
Yeah, yeah, it's many factors. It's well the genre. Of course, we don't really do superheroes here,
right.
but we also have like different art styles. The art styles are very uh, diverse, and you have like we have these albums, so we have other formats. We have A4 albums, and books come out every once per year, maybe every per 2 years. You have like small creative teams working on one
Really?
singular book, right? So so the output is slower,
Uh-huh.
but worth waiting for. It's really detailed. It's like with the monthly frequency of your comics, right? You have to
Yeah.
like this is how the style got defined also, right? And
You're
so
not
so
wrong.
European albums usually are very detailed and take their time to be produced.
That's really interesting. Yeah, well, yeah, and it's like, as quickly as America tries to push them out, like, it's so funny because Japan has a different release style. France has a different release style that they do,
Mhm.
and I never thought about that. I never thought about that. So crazy. So, okay, so how is it? So, did you have American comic books in the Netherlands prior to when you found them, or did they get introduced and you kind of found them right away? Sorry, this is
No,
just fascinating to me.
no, it started with the one book that I told you about, and then I found like more from the same publisher. We had this small publisher. They were called Junior Press,
Uh,
and they translated these Marvel books, DC books to Dutch, the bigger titles. So I started to read Avengers, the Hulk, Spider Man, um, and then later on I discovered the books that weren't translated, and that was about the time that Image started also. So I began to collect Image books. So Image was never translated here, so I had
Oh
to
wow.
read those in English. And I wanted to read English. So a lot of my English knowledge comes from reading comics, you know, um, from reading
That
superhero books.
that's so cool. Which would explain why you're able to write in the same voice. Oh God, that makes so much sense. Sorry, I am fascinated by this. So, and real quick, like I'm probably never going to do a lot of traveling. I'm never going to be able to travel the world. Um, Most likely, one, because it's very expensive, and two, I don't. There's not a bunch of places I want to go, but I am
Yeah.
so interested in in the world, and that. So just hearing this, and it's like how it kind of all fell for you, and what got translated versus what didn't get translated, who you found first, the companies out there that were doing it, the fact that you guys didn't have superheroes in the Netherlands, which from an American perspective is wild. So,
Well,
uh,
well, to me, it's kind of fascinating that you guys like completely zoned in on superheroes and kind of dominated your your output, right? Everything that comes from the United States, as far as I know here, is superhero material. Do you also produce other genres? Or is it mostly that?
they do, but it's much smaller. Horror comics are coming back in the indie side.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so those seem to be coming back. A lot of it is superhero. Seen some cyberpunk stuff, more in indie stuff. As far as like the big stuff that's out there, I realistically people would only know of the superhero genre, the DCs, the Marvels, like um
Yeah, this is the cool thing about indie. People can
yeah.
do whatever they want, whatever you can think of. Um, I happen to like superheroes, but more power to everyone who does something else. We need a lot of variety within this indie space.
Yeah. Yeah, Caffeinated Wolf says it very well here. He says, we have a lot more than traditional superhero comics. However, it very clearly dominates the vast majority of the industry, and he is
Yeah,
correct there. Okay, so you gathered together this band of students,
yeah.
this merry band of students, as we will call them. You call you start putting out books. You guys like you're either thinking or wanting to be the Image comics of the Netherlands. So you're getting started. What what what's the beginning of that look like? There's
Yeah,
you
we actually had like meetings, so we already knew. So the first time I met everyone at the school there, but later on people joined from other locations, so we had to find other places together. And I had no money. I was a student, so we just met at a station, at train station, at the restaurant,
that's
just to discuss. We didn't have like this, so just
uh-huh.
to
Oh yeah.
discuss um, what we wanted to do, and we knew this was supposed to be a superhero world. So what were the rules? What some people already had characters, others wanted to create things, and everything needed to be like overseen, right? So it all worked and clicked and matched, and so we had like monthly meetings.
Mhm.
Those, yeah, and then every month people brought the new pages in. So we showed around. We showed the pages we made. We shared scripts. We did emails. So things like that. But it was often very very hectic. It was we all paid this monthly fee together, so we could like build some funds to eventually print something,
Mhm.
and we did, and we went to conventions. So we actually made comics. We actually made books, but it was very amateurish. Some books were black and white because we couldn't we couldn't afford
Oh,
color.
color is so expensive.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's so we all had to learn. Um,
What was the first book you showed off at a convention? What was the
uh,
first?
that we made.
Yes.
That was called. Oh my god, I forgot the title. Unicorns. It was called Unicorns, and it was about. It wasn't a superhero actually, but it was about this story that I wrote about people from a different planet who had to go off planet for some reason and had like white skin and these horns, and they were called unicorns. So it was a bit of sci-fi, and later it would be integrated within the superhero world. Um, and that was the first book that I actually made. Um,
Is it
it,
still on Genuine Comics?
no, it's completely sold out. It's complete, and
Oh,
it was also in Dutch. We never made like English language books back then. I started to do that in 2015.
okay. Okay. Sorry, I just had to ask because I like to see where you guys you're like this is the book that we're going to show off at the first convention. Unicorn people is the
Well,
and it's so cool.
yeah, well, that was my part, but we had like several. We all made things, right? So everyone had like ideas and characters. So we had this. So often the books that we made had shorter stories from different creators in
Right.
them, and mine was the unicorns, and then we had another comic called Teddy about the killer teddy bear, and so all kinds of weird things. And then we slowly moved into the superhero things.
That's
Yeah.
so cool. That's so cool. So you're doing like these kind of like these little like anthologies. Uh that's
Well,
oh,
it was the making one comic of 22 pages or something. That's so much work. It was much
oh yeah.
easier for us to focus. So we had to study, so it was easier for us to focus on like one segment of a bigger book, and together we made uh, this complete anthology thing.
That's so cool. Okay, so you you're doing all of this in school
Yeah.
as teenagers.
Yes. I
And
think it started when I was 16.
oh, okay, I hate to ask, how old are you now?
I'm around 50. Yeah.
So wait a minute, Genuine Comics has been going for like almost 34 years.
Well, not really. We had so we did this back in school. We did it for about 6 years,
Uh-huh.
and then uh, the the group kind of fell apart because school was
Yeah.
over and we needed to work. We started families. We needed to experience life, as adults. And so 15 years later, in 2014, I really, really wanted to get back into making comics. I had my life in order, and that's when I started with my. So I kind of took ideas that I had from the 90s. I
Uh-huh.
rebooted the entire thing, and I started with a brand new title called Earthling, and I knew I'm now going to do everything in American style, so English language, American format, and my audience will be America. That was the goal,
That's
and
that's
and I've
so
been doing
cool.
that since 2015. Yeah,
That's so cool. So, yeah, and we've got Earthling pulled up right here. Earthlings
yeah,
2
yeah.
cover A, Earthling 3 cover A. I don't see Earthling 1. Well, I mean, obviously you can see here you definitely have a quite a background here of
Mhm.
books. That's so cool. Earthling 1 cover A. There we go. 5.99. Oh, it's sold out. Oh, how
Yeah, it's sold out.
dare you.
That's
It's
sold out.
But that's so interesting. So do you see uh do you see or do you? I'm sorry. Do you still work with anybody that you started from when you guys were in school together?
There is I still keep in touch with a lot of them, but they all like started doing something else. One of them, my friend Roland, he did like animation now. He worked on this series that's on Netflix. I forgot the title, but
Oh
he
wow,
also colored like the the back cover of the current issue that we're
that's cool.
making. So he's still doing something with comics occasionally when I ask him. But besides that, no one besides myself makes comics now.
Really? Okay. I mean, oh man, I love that history. I love that.
Really?
That just to hear. I mean, again, between cultural barriers and age and being and having to learn another freaking language and then deciding I'm going to make books for the Americans. Like just there's so much there. The people that you started working with and then what you guys were originally showing and that not me listening to all of this not realizing that a lot of it was over 30 years ago when you're getting started with this stuff.
It's
And
crazy.
here
Yeah.
you are over 30 years later and I mean, what seems to be a successful venture. I mean, it like your books always get good buzz from what I can tell. Um, I mean, your artwork is just unreal. And although I've not picked up the books, again, comics are still kind of expensive, and we have 4 kids, so money kind of has to go where it's got to go. But from the people that I've spoken to who've actually had their hands on your books, it seems like you definitely chose the right path in life.
Oh yeah, people seem to like it, but it's that's the thing with indie comics. You never really know what catches on. We have like several titles, right? And
Mm-hmm.
but Perfect 10 is absolutely the most successful. So that's what I leaned into, right? Because I like to keep doing this. And some other titles, I have so many concepts, so you have to make decisions. What's worth like investing in. So I listen to feedback when people tell me this is great. Okay, let's give people more of what they love. You know. Um,
No, and that I mean, that's generally the way. That's generally the way to go. Is usually decide to be like, well, okay, you liked this. I'm going to give this to you.
well, for
Um,
instance, I had this series Earthling, and I still like to do two more issues of that series,
mhm.
but it wasn't the most like popular series, right? It's a very it's about this guy who is a animal rights activist who gets superpowers, and then like like how will he use those powers, right?
Mhm.
And to me, fantastic character, fantastic concept, but people liked Perfect 10 more. So then I have to make a decision. So the funds go into Perfect 10. My time, my effort, my resources go there, and hopefully someday I can finish the other book on the side. But you have to do what you need to do to keep going.
So that was the perfect segue for me. Thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Because I was like, oh man, how do I ask this question? But you said people wanted perfect 10. Well,
Yeah.
I think I know the first person who wanted perfect 10, and that was you. How did you come up with the character and that world and what's going on with Perfect 10 for those who haven't checked it out yet?
Um, so I in the 90s when we were creating superheroes, I knew for some reason, I don't know why, but I knew that I wanted a android as a main character.
Right.
Some androids that could heal. And I created two of them, and they were called Thunder and Lightning. And these were two androids. So I wanted this duo aspect also. But um, we actually produced pages. I drew them because I wanted to be the artist,
Mhm.
but it never was finished or released. We never did anything with that. And then many years later, when I met Paul Rodrigues, the artist of Perfect 10 now, I loved Paul Rodrigues' art. I commissioned him for some pinups, and I asked him, "Would you be interested in doing a full comic with me sometime?" And he was like, "Sure." uh, so basically, he was being polite, I think. But I took it seriously, right? So I began to save money to hire Pau for a full book, and I needed a concept. And I was like, okay, what can I do with Pau Rodrigues? And I went back to the Thunder and Lightning idea,
Mhm.
and I took the duo aspect and I reworked them because DC has a Thunder and Lightning, and
Mhm.
I thought the names were a bit stupid back then. Back
Back then
then
they
they
were
were
great.
awesome.
Yeah, back then
Yeah,
they were great. Yeah, of
yeah. But
course.
now, so I reworked them to gorgeous and grotesque, and but I couldn't get the story right. I couldn't get the story so it worked for me,
Mhm.
and I was like, I need something else before Pow moves along, right? So I took the other aspect of that concept, which was the android part,
Mhm.
and I made one character, and I was like, all right, what's the reason for the android to be within this world? Because my problem with gorgeous and grotesque was that I had no reason for them to be in this universe. So every character needs to be there to fill a certain role, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And 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 from that came basically, so you have like this androids, and so in this universe with all these people with superpowers, how do you want people get superpowers? I thought, well, probably most people will use them for crimes or for selfish reasons or whatever. So the ratio between heroes and villains was kind of off. So the balance was off, right? So I thought, all right, then you have these androids. So you have this organization called Division M. So the meta normal division, they call them meta normals within the universe, and they kind of monitor these meta normals.
Mhm.
A metanormal activity, but they also try to bring them in to train them to become superheroes, right?
Right. Okay.
But because there are far more villains, they needed more, so they created these androids, and this was something that the superheroes themselves didn't even know because the androids were they're called synthoids, by the way,
Okay.
um, and they were meant to like basically take out these villains, these
Right.
unwanted villains. So actually remove them, kill them. And that's where kind of the story started. And I was like, I have the perfect reason for this character to be in this universe. Plus, it tells a lot about this world also. It was perfect.
I love that background. It's like, I mean, it's literally like if superheroes aren't enough, what do we do?
Yeah.
Fucking build one. Like that's so good. I love, and something very similar um to that was done in, oh, I could be misquoting it. Was it Invincible? The Invincible books, like the government was like in the background doing experiments on people, and they had the creepy like cyborg looking dudes that they
Oh
were.
yeah, yeah,
You remember that?
yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah. I
that's
have the
kind.
entire series. I love that.
Yeah, yeah, kind of a different. I don't know if I want to watch the show anymore. The series was really good. I listened to, so as I always tell people, and I've said this from the beginning, which is so funny. I don't refer to myself as like a comic book like fan because I don't buy the books and sit down and read them, and but I'm like a comic book student because I will listen to the entire history and arcs of a novel like I'm listening to a history documentary. I love learning about it. I love learning about the worlds and stuff like that. And so that's why I separate myself from the real boys,
Mm.
but yeah, if I remember correctly, in Invincible, they had a similar concept to that. Obviously, they didn't take it to the point where you're taking it, which is where the hero of your books you know is Perfect 10.
Hmm. Yeah.
And so that leads me to the question of why Perfect 10? Why the name? Why, like, we made a lot of jokes whenever Perfect 10 would come up, and everybody would be
Mm.
like, man, there's a lot of talent on that page. Like, why, why go with that style? Why go with the name? Like, I mean,
Well, first off, I was baffled that the name wasn't used yet. I was like, how is that possible? It's so obvious. Perfect 10, right? It so I claimed the name, and so within this world, I wanted there to be like this. So these synthoids, biosynthetic meta-humanoids, they are created, right? And so 10 is the 10th one. And so the program is called the perfection program. So that's where perfect 1, perfect 2, perfect 3,
mhm.
right? And she's called perfect 10 just by accident. But it works so well because her power set also leans in that number. She is 10 times stronger and more agile and faster than humans, for instance. Um, so yeah, I just wanted to use the name, and sometimes you have to like write the story in such a way that the name also makes sense, right? She could have been called something else, but Perfect 10 is just a fantastic name. I wanted to use that.
That's awesome. It's such a simple reason too. It's like, no, I like
Yeah,
this name. No other reason.
yeah.
I like this name. I want to use this name.
Plus, it
I'll,
fits with the character.
yeah. I mean, that's
They're they're created to be perfect, perfect like specimens.
oh, excuse me. Um,
Gesundheit.
sorry, I've been fighting a cold for 2 weeks. It's
Yeah.
terrible.
Holy
Uh,
shit.
I it happens. I was in bad shape last week. Actually, I should have postponed the interview with Vaughn because I wanted to give him more time, but I wasn't able to. That's so Perfect 10. If I'm not mistaken, you started with Perfect 10 in 2020, 2022,
Yeah. Yeah. 2020, I think. Yeah.
2020. So this has been going on. So 6 issues, 5 years.
Yeah. It takes a long time to make one book.
Yeah.
This is book 6 we're making right now.
How many pages are in your books?
32.
Okay. Okay. That's so. I mean, obviously, you're going full color
Yeah. Yeah.
pages,
Still
like the
shebang.
whole
Yeah.
nine. Like, geez, that's got to be
Yes.
expensive.
Well, the first issue was 24 pages. That was all that I could afford for POW, right?
Right.
Plus the story fit within 24 pages, and the rest we filled with extra material like pinups from other artists. And we did that also with issue 2, and then from then on it became like cover to cover, like
Uh huh.
sequential work because the story just grew. So
Right.
I needed the room.
That's really cool. So, issue 6, you're concluding
Yes,
the first arc.
that's
I'm
crazy.
assuming there are more arcs.
Not yet. This is
Not
this is the only one for now
only one for now. Oh
of
wow.
Perfect 10.
Okay.
I
So,
I I have ideas for like future adventures of this character. I love the character, and if Pau likes to continue, we can continue. My original idea was to have this series be just 6 issues and done. Well, my original idea was 3 issues, and then it grew to 4, 5, and now it's 6. But 6 is now the final one, and then the plan was to leave it there, and then it like moves into a new series. So a new series that is a follow-up to the Perfect 10 arc. Um, and while I still love that, I know that it's tricky to like do new titles when you have something that people really like. So maybe I should just like I said before, you have to give people what they want. So maybe I should just not focus on new series, but focus on 10. Um, I haven't decided yet. There's so much cool stuff that I still want to make. You know.
Hmm. Well, it's kind of one of the things, we were talking about before the show started. And, you had mentioned to me before the show started, because I said, I'm kind of, um, figuring out where I'm gonna push the channel going on in the future. And you were like, well, as long as you're doing it because you enjoy it and not because like you're chasing some algorithm and so on and so
Mm.
forth. And one of the things I wanted to say, and sadly I had to click the go live button. One of the things that I wanted to say is, it's like, well, I don't want to chase algorithms. I want to chase what people want, because funny enough, the one thing that I've learned is algorithms chase what people want,
Mm.
because the algorithm feeds people what they want to see. And so as long as I guess as long as you don't grow to hate Perfect 10, if people are saying, we want more of this character, it's not really a bad reason to keep going with the character.
No, and I wouldn't mind either. I can like write this forever. Like the character is really solid, and she can go through the entire James Comics universe. So I have so many stuff that I could tell through her, right? Um, but it's just a decision, like how do you tell a particular story about a particular character? Uh, do I make a new title for that character, or do
Mm-hmm.
I rewrite it in such a way that it becomes Ten's story, and she just meets other characters? You know, there are different angles from which you can tell the same story,
Right.
basically.
Well, obviously that's how a lot of Marvel comics would do tie-ins and stuff back in the day.
Hmm.
Start with one character and introduce this character, and then maybe now we're gonna tell a comic about this character that was in this book, and
Yeah,
then we're gonna say something over here. And it could be an interesting way to do it.
I don't know. I need to think about it because like Perfect Ten was once new also. Like
Mhm.
it was a unproven concept comic
Right.
yet from a unknown little like publisher from the Netherlands. So uh, sometimes you just need to take some risks and try some new things. So I think I will do like kind of both. So one thing that I know, all right, people certainly will like this,
Mhm.
and then next to that, I do more experimental stuff.
How are you gonna squeeze that in the time? You only have so much time in a day.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. It's time, it's funds, it's so it takes so much time to make one book, you know. So it's sometimes it's kind of scary when you have like this new idea and I'm going to make it, and then I don't know how it pans out, you know. But you have to give things a try. You never know if you don't make it. Um, but you can't keep doing that. So you have a like you have to be able to count on at least one thing that brings in some money while you try out other things,
Right.
right?
So, no, you're not wrong there. So, okay, so you're concluding the first arc with Perfect 10, 6 issues. Are you going to put it in a volume in a volume and put that out eventually, or is that not on the table? I
Hmm.
know some people who are kind of considering doing that, and then I know some people who are trying to take those volumes and even get them in like on Amazon and stuff like that, and try to do like
All right.
Amazon distribution.
Yeah.
Um, and like I know some people. I don't know if you're in my Discord, but I can always shoot you a link into my Discord, and there are like what's the plan for the future for if for this arc of the story?
Okay. I can show you if you bring up the campaign page, if you will. I can
Yeah.
show you what the plans are. If
All
you
right.
scroll down,
Uh-oh.
you can scroll
Uh-oh.
down
You're in
further
complicated,
down. Yes, no, it's
complicated directions. I'm just a dumb American.
and
Uh,
then yeah, a bit more, and then you will see. Oh, by the way, this is the back cover colored by my friend Roland. He like that
this is the
I
one in
yeah, he
school.
was a student back then that also did started Jamie Comics with me. So
That's
still
so
dust
cool.
coloring. That's pretty cool.
That's so cool.
And if you scroll down a little bit, look at that, the Perfection Collection. So the entire story in one trade paperback or hardcover. This answers your question,
You're
I
doing
think.
hardcovers.
Yes. So all 6
That's.
issues you see right here, these are the single issues. They will
Mm-hmm.
be collected in one book, and it's put together through Critical Blast. Critical Blast does the publishing, they do the distribution, they do everything.
That's really cool.
And this book includes the newest issue that we're making right now. So I initially thought I'm going to release issue 6, and then 1 year later we're going to like give people the trade paperback, right? And then someone suggested, I can't remember who, but they suggested why not release it at the same time. So once you
I
have the books ready, all the books done, you can immediately bring out the trade paperback. So you don't need to rebuild hype. You know, people can get it
yep.
together at the same time. It's more convenient. You don't need to run a new campaign, and it just made sense. So together with issue 6, people can also get the trade paperback.
What's so cool about this too is that you can get the whole thing. So if you've missed all the back issues, like I have,
Yeah.
there is an option for me to just go buy all of it. I'm
Yes.
not. I'm not gonna have to go buy one book at a time or even try to find them. Like you're like, no, Critical Blast is gonna handle a lot of the distribution and stuff like that, which that actually answered some of a question that I do have saved because people are dropping questions and I'm saving those
Okay.
for after I finish asking my questions because it's my show, so my questions first. But
Sure.
but that's super cool. Okay,
And if you scroll down, you can see the cover for the trade paperback
yeah,
or the hardcover. There it is. Look at that. The Perfection Collection. Awesome.
that's so cool.
So
I
Paul
love it.
Rodriguez drew this cover specifically for the trade. I love this, man. This is really this is the first Jamie Comics trade paperback. I'm so proud. This is like a milestone, you know. This is something that I couldn't dream of like years ago.
That's so freaking cool. I love this. I oh, man, and especially like hearing where you started and like you didn't let it go. You didn't drop it. You didn't stop. You didn't throw in the towel. You freaking learned another language, which is just awesome. And now you're here. You're going to release your trade paperback with your first arc of, you know, a successful story that you put out there. Um, that's so freaking cool.
Yeah, the
I,
cool thing about this story also, this needed to be written also. It just happened this way, but this is so essential for the entire like world that we're building. So this explains so much about this universe while telling a story. Um, I love this series so much, and I love the character, and I love that we made it to issue 6. This was like with every issue, with every book, it's like new challenges, new problems, and every week I'm like, this is the last book ever. You know, it this sucks. What am I doing? And then we get it made, it gets out there, people enjoy it, and that gets me excited again for the next issue. You know, so um, yeah, so years back, I couldn't believe we would even make it this far. It's really cool. I'm very grateful that people like it so much.
that that really, again, just having started to pay attention to a lot of the indie world just a few years ago, it just seems like your name just kind of pops up, like a lot of people do. But there's always nobody just pops up in the creative world. Nobody just, you know, goes out there and is just all of a sudden, even in the indie world, just becomes known by anybody. And to have the opportunity to sit down with you and listen to your background, how you got interested in it, how you stuck with it, and just and not only that, like I said, I love listening like cultural differences and things like that. That's so freaking cool to me. I don't know why my brain just loves that. It's so freaking awesome. And not only that, but you got with a fantastic artist, and people are telling you that they like what you're putting out there.
Yeah, thanks.
The pe- pe-
The cultural differences, by the way, I try to write in such a way that it's pretty universal, so people don't even notice. But when the culture becomes a theme, like with American Bliss, which is a American patriotic superhero,
Mm.
that series that we started is written by Michael Oden, because he's
Oh
from the United
shit,
States, you know.
Odin.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know Odin. I've
yeah,
talked with him before. Yeah, that's cool.
yeah, because this is something I could probably write, but I can't write it as a American would, right?
Mhm.
So he brings in this American flavor to it, and yeah, really
that's
cool.
that's really cool. I didn't know you knew Odin. That's super cool.
Yeah.
I told him, I was like, how the hell do you get lucky enough to have a name like that? Like that's ridiculous. Um, so as I said earlier, I was saving some of the questions that got dropped down in the chat,
Sure.
and obviously, I told people if they send in super chats, those are going to get read first. But from H Mall, this is a question for Dave. How do you organize your thoughts? What works for you?
Organize my thoughts. I think the question pertains to stories.
Yes, I think
Yeah,
so.
I have a lot of notes. So I have a lot of files with synopsis for characters and for stories, and I have all these little folders that I store stuff, because if I need to remember things, it becomes all muddy and difficult. And so I write things down. I make sure to write things down. When I have a idea in the middle of the night, I need to get up, start my computer, type it in. Otherwise, I forget it.
Hmm.
So you need to. So you need to. At least I need to put it out somewhere, so I can rest assured that it's safe, and
Hmm.
I can look it up later.
Yeah, yeah. Writing down your ideas is hugely important. If you have an idea, write it down. Don't forget it. Pull up a note on your phone, your computer, a book that you keep next to your bed. It does not matter what it is. Like always, always write your ideas down
Yeah.
somewhere.
Or if
Uh,
it's very very simple, you have like a notepad app right
yeah,
here on your phone. Just a
yep,
little concept. Just write it down. Done.
yep. That's exactly what I do. I've got tons of notes that I put. I just pull up my
Yeah.
notepad app, put them down, and then go from there. Literally, that's the way to live life. I swear. Lirio Inks, I think I'm saying that right, says Dave, have you ever thought about producing a horror comic?
Well, Lirio. By the way, guys, Lirio is right now inking. He's a inker, right? And he's inking one of the books that we're producing right now, called
Oh,
Safeguard.
that's so
And
cool.
Safeguard is kind of like horror, a little bit, but it's mostly superhero. But yeah, horror, full horror comic. Yeah, sure. Maybe sometimes I never really thought about it, because I'm so focused right now on these on the superhero stuff. But maybe someday, yeah, would be nice.
Right. Well, we got it. You got to get through. I mean, if people are asking you for Perfect 10, like maybe you can do a horror issue of Perfect 10, just like a
Oh yeah,
Halloween issue. you know, but
Yeah.
people are asking for it.
Yeah.
All right. This one here from Caffeinated Wolf says, "You've been at it for a while and your consistent success is impressive. How do you handle the international shipping challenges with targeting an American audience from the Netherlands?"
Right. So for the last few years, I've been working with Critical Blast. So all the books that I make, they are printed here in the Netherlands because I want to do quality control for all the books. Plus, I need my inventory for conventions, and need
Right.
to sign things. So what I do, I ship like boxes full of them to Critical Blast,
Mm-hmm.
and he takes care of distribution to all the backers and all the customers in the United States. And that's how we've been doing it for a few years now. But now there's a new problem since last week
Oh,
that we're not shipping to the United States anymore. Um, that's like several countries have the same problem with a new tariff system or something.
oh crap.
Yeah, so that's a bit. So I have some boxes right here that I still need to ship out. I'm still figuring out how to do that. So yeah, that's a bit of a,
Wait,
a
so now we
problem.
gotta smuggle comics into the U.S.? What the fuck
Yeah,
are these politicians thinking?
I hope they solve it soon because it needs to be solved
It's
because
so.
this affects a lot of people, a lot of countries, so it needs to. But meanwhile, these books needs to be shipped. So I'm trying to find something, but it's not easy because every like shipping service has the same problem.
That's so crazy. I don't know what we're doing. I
It
really don't know what
sucks.
we're doing. This is not a question, but I saw it and I thought it was funny. Perfect 10 versus Freddie and Jason.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I
That'd
love
be
that.
funny. That'd be
It will be
funny. Be like, Perfect 10 versus like the Wolfman or or something like that. That'd be funny.
yeah.
That would be very, very funny. Um, oh, excuse me, goodness. Um, Honestly, we have covered a ton of ground in the last hour. I, I kind of, I just enamored. I love hearing your story of how you got into all of this. Um, I don't see any more questions currently about the book. I am going to drop the Fund My Comic link, the perfect collection, in the chat down below. And I'm also going to drop the genuinecomics.com link in the chat below.
Oh, thank you. Thanks so much.
And yeah, well, people need to go because they can purchase those books somewhere. And then I'll touch base with you because I've been connecting with people through Facebook lately because a lot of people are on Facebook that I did not realize.
Yeah, you're not
Um,
on X. I
no,
couldn't find you there.
I got off of there. I got so
Oh,
tired of that friggin' website.
hmm.
I did. That's part of the. I was just like X is a website that just turned everybody. Everybody has to do a one liner,
Hmm.
and it just turned into a website of everybody's just trying to one up each other, and I'm just like I don't care. I want to have honest conversations with people, and that's why I do this. This is what I enjoy.
Yeah,
And X is just website just
yeah, yeah.
doesn't fit my
X is very
personality.
is very noisy. X is very noisy. When you
Oh,
when
it
you scroll
is.
it's like constant
Yeah.
noise.
When you said
Yeah.
when you scroll it, when you scroll X scrolls you. I don't.
Yes.
It's very
Yeah.
antagonistic. I don't know, but I I love what you're doing. I love that you're trying to build a world. I love that you're connecting with the artists that you're connecting with. I love where you came from. I love where you're going. I love that you're getting a trade paperback and a hardcover out.
Yes.
And I think that everybody needs to go click those links that I dropped in the in the description and also in the chat because that's what you guys need to do. And then I
Yeah, we're
also need to
nearing
put
we're nearing 5K guys with the Fund My Comic campaign. So thank you all so much. Yeah, almost to 5K. So get us over there. Get us over the line.
guys, go check out Perfect 10. I have seen so many of his editions and issues promoted here on this channel through like Comic Shop Wednesday, and just just checking it out on my own throughout the years. This guy's got passion for it. People seem to love it. Go check it out. Maybe you'll love it too. You'll never know until you try. And Dave, we finally did it. I finally got to interview you.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Thank
you so much, man.
Yeah, of course. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and I think it was the time thing. Because our old time, it would have been like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning before.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember. Like, I know we talked about, like, man, we need to get Dave on.
Well, it happened now, so that's the most important thing, right?
Well, that is true. That is true. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning into A Drink with Crazy. Dave, that was so fun. I absolutely love... I need to get you my Discord link because there's some people who... I think Hero Darky Dark actually put his first issue of Relentlessly Bullied Hero on Amazon. So that might be an option to get your books over into the States, because if it's just handled through Amazon, that could help. Because I want to make sure, because yeah, the stupid crap with our politicians, no, we need to get your books here in the States. We need people to have that offered. So we'll touch base there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much. We got 6 Eric Wag, F Music, Mayor of Orc City, who may or may not be nab evading. We don't know. Gordon, good brother, thank you so much for being here. It's awesome. Caffeinated Wolf, H Mall Madness Entertainment Group. It's good to see everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning in to A Drink with Crazy. And as always, until next time, cheers, everybody.